Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mick. I am 27 years old as of today. Today is my 27th birthday, which is pretty wild to say because I don't feel 27. I'm also not 100% sure that I ever really felt 26, but here we are. I will say one way in that I do feel like I am 27 is that I do feel like I'm finally honing in on what I want my life to be. And I feel like, especially people in my generation, like we were raised with like an expectation of like a timeline of how life goes. And like, graduate college by 22, get married by 26, have your first kid by 30, thereabouts, those kinds of expectations. And then you get older and you reach those ages and you realize that that is not necessarily how it works. And that's perfectly fine. And I do feel like I'm finally figuring out what I want my life to be like. I've experimented a lot in the past. I've worked a couple different types of jobs. I've tried corporate life and I've never really found direction until recently. And so I'm kind of starting this channel as a way to take you along on that journey and show what like a real life is like for someone who doesn't necessarily follow the set traditional path or timeline. Like I haven't gone to college, I haven't graduated with a degree other than my high school degree, but I'm finally figuring out how I want my career to look. I'm finally taking care of my health and my body and my physical fitness. And yeah, I finally feel like I'm growing up a little bit and really figuring out who I am and what I want from life. Today, again, is my birthday, but it's gonna be fairly uneventful. I'm not really celebrating today. I have a workout with my personal trainer that I have to leave for in a little bit. And then I have capoeira in the evening. So we'll get a little bit of a look at what I mean when I say I'm taking care of my physical fitness. I'll try to take you along for those as well. Before heading out to my workout, I needed to send a quick Facebook message. I had applied to be a content creation intern at a local gym and athletic training center. I interviewed for the position yesterday, so I decided to message the interviewer to follow up and let him know I was still interested. Once that was done, it was time to head out to my workout. I really find that the movement that I've incorporated into my life recently, whether it was my personal trainer or capoeira or anything along those lines, has really been helping me out mentally. It's pretty cliche advice, but it's definitely true. It is cliche for a reason. It is 100% true, and I think genuinely the most important thing is to make whatever you're doing fun for yourself. You don't have to be the biggest power lifter or, follow a specific training regimen, but you have to find something that's fun and that you'll be able to do consistently and that you like, and that will definitely be content that I cover later on in the channel as well. I am at capoeira. I did forget my microphone, so hopefully this doesn't sound too bad and hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. I'm actually pretty early tonight. It doesn't start till 7:30. I am here and it is 6:55 right now. So I am going to be hanging out in my car for a little bit. It is a little bit difficult doing both my personal training workout session and capoeira on the same days. I'm on Monday, Wednesday with both of them right now. It's not too bad, and I kind of like having everything on the same days. Today was a little bit rough at my workout. As you saw earlier, it was almost 100 degrees plus humidity, and my personal trainer trains out of his garage, so there's no AC. He did have a lot of fans going, which is good. I keep looking up at the camera because the screen turns off after a second of recording and I always think something else is happening, and I'm also just not used to having a camera in front of me. I have been getting so many messages from all of my friends, obviously, because it's my birthday. And I had a call with my parents earlier. I had all my Facebook messages, and I don't even know if the people at Capoeira know it's my birthday. I think I mentioned it to a couple of them on Monday. I feel really grateful that I have a community now, because I feel like for a lot of my life, especially since getting out of high school and, I dropped out of college and stuff, I've had friends, but I feel like I've lost a lot of the feeling of like having community here, especially because like my best friend moved out of state to Arizona several years ago now, and I keep saying I'm gonna follow her. We'll see if that ever actually happens. And for a while I was like dead set on going to Arizona or moving out of the state in general, because I don't know, I hate the winters. I live in Michigan. I hate the winters, and I just never felt like I had a community or like a solid like friend group here. And now I kind of do because of capoeira and my work and my personal trainer, things that I do. I feel like I've met people and I've made a lot of new friends, and that now I'm at the point where I'm not sure if I want to leave the way that I once did. And even if I'd be going somewhere like Arizona where I know someone there already, have to rebuild the rest of the community. So I don't know, it's just something that I've been thinking about, but I am very grateful for what I do have and that I have so many close friends. And I'm really grateful to have the people I have, because I feel like in the past, I haven't always, when I felt lonely, I haven't always surrounded myself with like the healthiest people to be around. But now I kind of feel like I'm doing a lot better with that, and I have a community of good people that I want to be near, and that I feel value me as a person and appreciate me. So I'm definitely grateful for that. And I know it's hard to make new friends as an adult. I would say the best things that I've done for myself when it comes to meeting new people, making new friends, having a bit more of a sense of community. Number one, it might sound a bit weird, is get comfortable doing things by yourself. I think it's actually better to go to places by yourself if your goal is to meet new people in any capacity. And I think that's because if you go somewhere new and you're trying to meet new people, but you have a friend or a person with you that you already know, you're probably going to be sticking close to your friend, and you might not be as approachable by new people. You might not be, openly trying to interact with people other than the one person you already know and you're comfortable with. So getting comfortable going places by yourself is, I think, a really good first move. And you can start with, like, I would say probably one of the easier ones is like a movie theater. Just going there, because you're not necessarily going to interact with anyone there, right? But just getting comfortable getting out somewhere and doing something in public by yourself. And then, maybe you can go to like trivia night at the bar eventually, or just go out to eat by yourself. That is one good way to kind of get more of a community for yourself. Another way is sign up for things like my capoeira class. And it's really fun. It's challenging, but it's fun. And I've met a lot of new people through that. Again, I've taken improv classes before. Stand-up comedy I've done. Obviously, those are not things that, everyone is going to be interested in doing. But, when you meet people at places like that, you may or may not ever, like, speak to them or talk to them ever again. But you're putting yourself out there. You're meeting people, and for all you know, you might find some of your new closest friends from doing that type of thing. And then just consistency. Go to the same things. If you're doing a capoeira or some sort of class like that, make sure you're going once or twice a week on a regular basis. You start seeing the same people, and you can have those conversations and really get to know one another a little bit more. Same with like improv and stand-up comedy, and even just like trivia nights at the bar or different things like that. It's always on Wednesday, so if you're going there every Wednesday, you're going to start seeing and meeting other regulars who also go there every Wednesday to do trivia. And maybe you'll start talking to them, and maybe you'll start talking to them outside of trivia night. Maybe you won't, but either way, it's still a good thing for you to do, and it makes you feel like you have a community when you're going to those places, and maybe the servers are recognizing you, they're knowing what you always order, like that type of thing. Like, community is so important. Like, there are people that can survive and thrive completely on their own, but those are rare and far in between. And I think as humans, part of accepting our humanity is knowing that we need to be around other people. And we are social creatures. And it's a lot harder to do that, I feel, in the modern age than it might have been, back when we were like a village and everything, and everyone knew everyone, and you know, everything was a lot closer. There weren't so many distractions. But yeah, that was a little bit of a ramble about community, but that's something that I am pretty passionate about myself, and it's definitely helped my mental health a lot, which I know is also a cliche, the same as how exercise helps you mental health. But you know, sometimes these things are said a lot because they're true, you know? Like, I don't think people that say, oh, you need to exercise or make a friend group or anything like that, even if it's not the most helpful thing to say, because it's like the easiest answer to give, and obviously there's a lot more to your mental health and your health in general than just exercising and seeing other people. But I do feel like there's a reason that advice is given so often, and it's because it really helps. But yeah, anyways, I am gonna head inside. I'm not sure if I'll film anything in there. I have to talk to the instructor. I don't want to be filming anyone without their permission, and the instructor's permission, obviously. So I am going to head inside, and I will see you later. All right, testing, 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, I just got home from capoeira and I am completely cooked. I am so tired. Yeah, I just got home. I'm eating some beef barley vegetable soup. Whenever I work out or go to capoeira, I always try to eat something with a little bit of protein in it after. Probably gonna journal a little bit more and wrap it up for the night. But yeah, it's been a good day, a good birthday overall, I think. A little uneventful, but I think overall good. Alrighty, I will talk to you guys later.